Kuzangpo and a very warm welcome to our weekly news magazine program, Bhutan This Week. I am Tamchizang. Our top stories this week. His Majesty grants Dar and the new Tompins Company. $205 Gyok utility vehicles handed over to local government chairpersons. And Bhutan CNN's 17 best places to visit this year. Now in detail. His Majesty the King granted Dar and the new Tompins Company to the 4 Tompen on Wednesday. The Tompen are Thimpu Tompen Kiledoji, Phansiling Tompen Uttar Kumar Rai, Samrup Jonkar Tompen Karma Sharap Topgil and Gelifu Tompen Tikaram Kafle. The elections were held last year. His Majesty also granted Dar to 3 new Gubs of Barshung Gyok in Sirang, Kame Gyok in Gasa and Phansiling Gyok in Chuka. These Gubs could not attend the Dar ceremony in October last year. Both Drukphin Somsokpa and Dasho Paljor J. Dorji did not file an appeal regarding the defamation case between the two. Going by the Thimpu District Court's judgment on 5th January, Thursday was the last day to file an appeal.
The verdict mentioned if there is no appeal within 10 days from the day the verdict is passed, the decision shall be accordingly enforced. Thimpu District Court in its verdict allowed DPT to withdraw the defamation case and asked the party to pay 450,000 yutam to Dashopaljor J. Doji as compensation for all the harassment, mental agony, infamy, indignity and inconvenience he underwent due to a non-suited suit. It also ordered for an investigation of the prima facie sedition charges against DPT. Both DPT and the legal representative of Dashopaljor J. Doji had no comments over the issue. Changa Doji for BBS News.
To provide land-related services at the grassroots level, the National Land Commission Secretariat initiated mobile land services on a pilot basis. The program aims to create awareness on limited arable land in the country and solve land disputes within the rules.
Officials from the National Land Commission are currently advocating on this new program in Lungsi. Speaking to gathering at Sankar Gyog yesterday, the Secretary of the Commission, Pema Chong, said people encroaching on state lands and keeping Kidu lands fallow are major concerns today.
Despite getting excess land as Kidu, people they just keep the land fallow. There's no cultivation, and sometimes many of the people they have started migrate towards the urban area.
As part of the mobile land services, minor land-related issues are also resolved on the spot.
There's so much of dispute among the landowners in terms of boundary disputes, inheritance, sale purchase. So we have tried to clarify all these issues also. The difference between the land exchange and land substitutions, that seems to be a glaring problem in the villages where they don't understand the difference between these two. So we have also clarified on these 2 issues.
It is actually good to come here to solve land-related issues because not all farmers can afford to go to relevant offices for the purpose. We were also told if we lost large portion of our land to natural calamities, we could be entitled for its substitution. Such a visit has helped us solve most of our issues related to land.
If proven successful, the program will be replicated in other Dzongkhaks as well. The mobile land services has so far covered 6 Gyeoks in Lungsi. Compiled for Sonam Sring in Lungsi, Choni Dama for BBS News.
Most Gyok power tillers in Dagana remained underutilized since its distribution in 2015. Farmers say unfavorable landscape and shortage of full-time operators hold them back from using the machine optimally.
Last year, out of 3,500 acres of wetland in the Dzongkhak, only 126 acres of paddy fields were tilled using power tillers. This translates to only around 70 households availing themselves of the service. Farmers attribute such underutilization to poor road access as well. A farmer can hire a power tiller from the Gyok office at 1,400 Nyutum for 8 hours.
At the moment, they start charging us once we get the power tiller out of the garage at the Geok office. It would help farmers if they charge us only after we put the machine to use in our fields, because some of our fields are located far from the Geok center.
The power tillers have benefited those farmers living nearby the farm roads and those having broader fields. But for instance, if we are to use the power tiller on steep slopes like the one behind me, it's impossible to reach it there. So it would be befitting if a smaller tiller is granted to us.
We use the power tiller wherever feasible, but most of our fields are far from the nearest farm road. So we'd appreciate if road connectivity is improved. Another thing is that we don't have a full-time operator for the machine.
The Dzongkhag agriculture officer says farmers begin most of the agricultural works at the same time. He says the demand for power tillers is high only once a year, and giving the service to all is a challenge.
People are concerned they will be charged even before the power tiller reaches the fields. I think that's one reason why people do not use the service. In actual, what people need to understand is that they could be charged at an individual level. But if farmers from the same village together propose for the service, then we can reach the power tiller to their fields free of charge.
The situation, however, is likely to improve as the Dzongkhag received 4 more power tillers recently. The Agriculture and Forest Minister Yeshidoji handed over a power tiller each to Tashiding and Goji Geoks and 2 more to Kana Geok during his 4-day visit to Tagana. Moreover, power tiller operators have already been nominated and trained at Gelifur Regional Agriculture Machinery Center. The Dzongkhag now has 18 power tillers. For Kipchu in Tagana, Sringzam, BBS News.
Geok utility vehicles for the 205 Geoks were handed over to the respective local government chairpersons on Sunday last week, coinciding with the 9th Local Government Chairpersons Conference in Phuentsholing. The 4-day conference is underway at Rinchending.
These Geok utility Bolero vehicles were handed over to the respective GUPs following the inauguration of the Local Government Chairpersons Conference at Reldi Higher Secondary School ground. While handing over the vehicles to the local leaders, Prime Minister Sringtopge urged the GUPs to utilize the vehicles appropriately in order to benefit the Geok and the people.
Sane yung kha chewachin, wase chirbel kha chewachin, mise kha chewachin, Geok nalu gari, pido chidi, gube esnomela. Tani pido rere ngachigi te temple beodalu, kyun tami temime. Tani nabugi kadichi ken se shuni. Chegi laba dimi mahubi ganlara kyun tami temime, tani beole tendigibe, nabugi genkudi. Te rogi kyun kadabe tadega, tukanam digibe, chala zebdalu. Te kyun kakong tani mepchibe zekari chana se shuni.
Speaking to BVS, some of the GUPs said government is providing the utility vehicles by recognizing the importance of local government. The GUPs therefore said they will utilize the vehicles productively.
For a
Geok like Lunana, there is no road connectivity currently, but we have plans to construct a farm road from Gyunchari till Kazipur. Once the road is complete, it will take only around 4 days to reach Kasa from Ramena, so it will benefit us a lot.
We have to travel constantly to the Geok, but due to limited vehicles, it is difficult to get vehicles and often do not reach on time. Henceforth, this vehicle will help us a lot, and we would like to thank the government.
There are only 8 Geoks, and all are connected with farm road to the Dzongkhag, so the vehicle will hereafter solve problems that we face in rendering service to the people.
The vehicles were procured at a cost of over 146 million Utam with funds from Government of India. Fofup Getse in Finsuling, Pemanamge, BBS News.
The Bangkok drug smuggling case is now in the High Court. The Office of the Attorney General charged 4 Bhutanese, including 2 women, for allegedly involving in drug smuggling in Bangkok in April last year. They were arrested from Thimphu in August last year. OAG for the first time filed the case based on extraterritorial principle as per the Civil and Criminal Procedure Code of Bhutan. 2 other suspects, a Bhutanese man and an Indian national, are still at large. The case came in the limelight after the Thai police found a body of a Bhutanese man in a canal in Bangkok in April last year. The deceased allegedly travelled with the suspects. The Bhutanese film Hema Hema Sing Me a Song While I Wait will not be screened in the country. Bhutan Infocom and Media Authority said it is due to culturally inappropriate use of various religious masks in the film.
The decision comes after it was reviewed by the National Film Review Board and the Department of Culture.
As per the recommendation of the National Film Review Board, the authority have further reviewed this movie in consultation with the other relevant stakeholders. After reviewing this movie, it has come to our notice that there has been excess usage of the religious marks in this movie, and based on this, because we took a decision because based on the existing act rules and regulation, the usage of the lachuk is not permitted, and because of that we have to decline the issuance of the certificate to this movie.
After being reviewed by the Film Review Board, the Culture Department was asked to review the film since it was to do with culture.
de nawa lengo pe kedidu ke datwani longning gi thega hebdalu de longning di hemale so sabe de katule de tenbe chanu indi bes chure de nga chinalu charge be omdalu dani nawa nami de tudalu de nga chi sezin le hunale begobigi de atsichi nga chi charge begob chi denu de dani gi lamlu di chambe de mabe se.
However, the producer of the film, Pao Choning Doji, said Bikma never informed him to get clearance from other relevant stakeholders. On the issue of using Latsuk masks, he clarified that the script was submitted to Bikma a year before the filming began and Bikma never raised an issue at the time. Bikma said the proposal did not clearly specify what kind of masks will be used in the film, but the producer said otherwise. The film was scheduled for a premiere in Thimphu on 19th December. Hema Hema is Dzongsa Jameng Khyentse Rinpoche's 4th feature film. It is about an exploration of a man's journey through Bardo state between life and death and the choices he encounters in between. Men and women gather every 12 years to enjoy a few days of anonymity. The film received a special mention at the Toronto Film Festival in Canada in September last year. Compiled for Chonidema, Taralimbu for BBS News.
More tourists might visit Bhutan this year. Bhutan has been featured as one of the best places to visit in 2017. The international news channel CNN identified 17 best places to visit this year, and Bhutan is one of them.
The country is considered the world's eco-friendliest nation besides happiness as a national indicator. These are some of the reasons for choosing Bhutan as one of the exclusive travel destinations. For the tourist, the hike to Taksang Monastery or the Tiger Nest in Paro is the highlight of their trips to the country.
2017 is probably the year for you to go to Bhutan and feel about what you can do in terms of being happy. So that was one of the reasons. But there were a few other reasons of our country being carbon negative, and the other thing that we're happy with CNN is. They said that if you are planning to trip to Bhutan, which has wonderful scenery, which has beautiful mountains, with beautiful valleys, beautiful people, they also have mentioned the Tourism Council of Bhutan's website if you're planning to visit Bhutan. So that's a wonderful thing to get at the beginning of a year.
Number of tourists also increased last year compared to 2015. With the number likely to rise this time, the Tourism Council of Bhutan is optimistic about the positive benefits.
A lot of people engaged in tourism industry, so employment will obviously go up. Then you have a lot of sales in the handicraft sector, so our arts and craft industry will be supported. Then there's airlines coming in, they would make good businesses. The hotel industry, the guides that we have, the horse contractors. So there's going to be a lot of positives coming out of it with such kind of very good publicity for Bhutan.
The Tourism Council of Bhutan contributed more than $22 million to the government revenue last year. This is Sonam Churin for BBS News.
The Civil Registration and Census Department under the Home Ministry is overcrowded with hundreds of people every day. People have been flocking to the Census Department mostly to renew their citizenship identity cards.
People are seen standing in queue as early as 8 a.m. in the morning. For the last couple of weeks, this has been a usual sight at the Tashicha zone. Inside the Civil Registration and Census Department office, the service counters are jam-packed with people. Some people have come from as far as Tashiangsi in the east to process their identity cards. Some are students applying for new identity cards, but majority of them are here to renew their citizenship identity cards.
I heard we would get fined if we do not renew our ID cards on time. So I came here yesterday also, but I could not get it processed today. Therefore, I will have to come tomorrow again.
I came here to renew my ID card. I stay here, but I am transferred to Dagana. My village is in Tiram. So I want to renew it before I go so that later I don't have to come back. My ID card got expired and I need to produce it when I travel. I came here for the last 2 days, but it's always crowded here and I could not get it today also.
To ease congestion at the head office, the Census Department has made renewals accessible for general public in any district of their residence, unlike in the past. They have also opened 2 centers at Thimphu Thomde and Thimphu Zongkok office for renewal of citizenship identity card. The 2 centers process 20 to 30 applications in a day on an average, while the head office processes over 200 applications daily. And 500 copies of identity cards are printed every day with its 3 printing machines. Meanwhile, officials from Civil Registration and Census Department clarified that no fines are imposed for failing to renew their identity cards for certain years. And for those who need to travel outside, the department issues a nationality certificate in lieu of the ID card. Poop Game for BBS News.
BBS audience will soon get to see the first ever animated TV series called Sheldon. The Dzongkha dubbed version will be launched on 5th February this year. It is a gift from His Royal Highness the Gese on his first birthday. The Dzongkha Development Commission is helping with its script translation.
The 78-episode series revolves around a young shell called Sheldon. It is about Sheldon and his friends who faces challenges and adversaries and learn to overcome them in their underwater world. Target audience for the animated series are the children in the 4 to 8 age group.
Yeah, go mate mare.
BBS is dubbing the series in Dzongkha. Popular local actors are providing voiceovers for the characters. And the president of the Bhutan Film Association, Milatopki, is helping the artist.
Sheldon, you're Zora Pagi Longin the Zoe Kablu Kadi Kairab Shulube Kanabelap, the Nalong Achira Zonkanabe, Pop Dibe Zogobe Gale.
The animated series is in English and we have to translate and dub into Dzongkha with help from Dzongkha Development Commission. When we voice over English and Dzongkha, the language structure is completely different and we have limited time. Lip sync is one of the biggest challenges. Despite that, our artists are trying hard throughout the day.
te di tanga chira gekhap ne lu gu tangba imbe se.
First of all, we actors are not trained as actors. Forget about being trained as voice artists. So that's why this is the biggest challenge that we are facing right now. Because as a voice actor, you have to have the potential to mimic a 6-year-old boy or a 19-year-old girl. So that's the biggest challenge that we're facing right now. But besides that, giving a voice to an most popular animation is an achievement.
The voice artists have been recording their voices for almost a month now, working every day.
It's a first of its kind project and a very important one in that not only for BBS but for the nation as a whole. The animation series is basically to be broadcast to encourage and to ensure that our children speak proper Dzongkha. Secondly, BBS also wants to hone our skills in the animation process so that we can make quality animation programs and highlight our rich history and our culture that will be beneficial not only for the children but for the youth of Bhutan as well.
Sheldon is a personal initiative of the Prime Minister. The series was provided free of cost by the Prime Minister's friend in Thailand, who is the owner of Shellherd Entertainment that produces animated series. Choni Dhamma for BBS News.
If you are a physically challenged person, your dream of becoming a sportsman is far from being over. The Paralympic Games give individuals with special needs the opportunity to live their dreams. The International Sports Festival is held after every Olympic Games. And tonight we bring you a story of a partially paralyzed 30-year-old man who aspires to become a Paralympian someday.
The life of Pema Rixel, who is from Thimphu, changed forever following a head surgery 5 years ago. The lower half of his body became paralyzed and he lived by his family in despair. However, the opportunity to become a sportsman now comes as a blessing for him. For now, he is at the very basic of his training.
Takate miwa ne melini zumchi tane beranga ragi sempate bero sodi te indi bero dari atuk tatsegi khatole te dizumigi te kokop nang bena misem gai sishini bingla te teringaragi temde karadagi be bindigi te anizumna tero na sar kosta telena macharagi na dashu disugi te anipe chapchurna misem zedigi be te danizum te misichi dinale te zasubigi te luji disu te sumbe te namse sem gai sishini so topomida mafumi ewami penni charigiro mafumi chapsu.
This is a new initiative starting this year. We want to give equal opportunity for both physically fit and people with special needs. We only have 1 or 2 who train with us now, but we would like to urge such individuals to come forward and take the opportunity. We will assess their fitness and see if they can go ahead with the training.
If Pema successfully completes his training, he will go on to participate in the 2020 Summer Paralympics to be held in Japan and become one of the first Bhutanese Paralympians. For now, dreaming to be a sportsman and realizing his goals is not a fantasy anymore. This is Kipchu for BBS News.
Well, that's all for this week. Until next time, goodbye and take care.